Okay, let's look a little bit closer into quadratic formula and how to simplify after you get your A, B, and C plugged into your formula. So let's write down what the formula is. X equals negative B plus or minus the square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. Okay, so let's do an example. X squared plus 2x equals 9. So we don't know what A, B, and C are just yet. We need to solve it so that everything is on the left side and it's equal to 0. So we move this to the other side. We get x squared plus 2x minus 9 equals 0. And from that, we can write our A, B, and C. A equals 1, B equals 2, C equals negative 9. So now we'll plug it into the formula. So x equals negative B. So it'd be negative 2 plus or minus square root B squared. So it'd be 2 squared. Put it in parentheses. Minus 4 times A times C. And then over the 2 times A. Then you start breaking everything down. So negative 2 plus or minus. So we can go ahead and just do that. 2 squared, which I can just put that in the calculator if I wanted to. Don't have to, but say 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 9 equals 40. And we don't take the square root because we want the exact. And then that would be over 2. So then our next step would be to simplify this 40. So we think back to our perfect squares and try to find the perfect square that divides evenly into 40. What would that be? What is it?
2 times the square root of 5.
Yep, because this would be square root of 4 times square root of 10. 4 times 10 is 40. And then we take the square root of 4, which is 2, square root of 10. You said 5, but that's okay. So then this would be negative 2 plus or minus 2 square roots of 10 over 2. Then the last thing would be to simplify. Because we have this common denominator, we would have to simplify those two terms and then simplify these two terms separately. But you'd want to do them with the same digit. All of these numbers are 2, which that means we can divide each one of them by 2. So I'd make this x equals negative 1 plus or minus 1 square root of 10 over 1. Because you would divide everything by a common divisor of the -2, 2, and 2. And then we wouldn't need that 1 on the bottom. It'd be -1 plus or minus 1 square root of 10. So that'd be our solution. And we can find, so this is called the exact solution. There are two solutions because you have one that's 1 plus square root of 10 and 1 minus square root of 10, which actually we could write this as 1 plus or minus square root of 10. We don't even need that 1 out front. So let's find the approximate x equals, we're going to put this in the calculator. -1 plus square root of 10 which equals 2 point, let's go to 2 decimal places, so 1/6, and x equals, we'll do the same thing but with the subtract, square root of 10, -4.16. So we have the exact answer and we have the approximate answers. And we can check this in the calculator by finding our zeros when we put it into y equals. So let's go ahead and do that. Go to y equals. Right, plug in the equation that we had that we said equals 0. So it would be x squared plus 2x minus 9. Now go to graph. Mine is zoomed out. So I'm going to do zoom standard so I have it in just regular view. Okay, so let's find the 0 over here. So we do second trace. Everybody should be doing this with me because it's important that you practice these steps so that whenever you're doing a problem on your own that you can do it on your own. So practice the steps. We're finding the 0. So I want to go to my 0. I have to do this twice because I have 2 different zeros I'm trying to find. So this is my 0 around that area, but I'm going to go to the left of it, push enter, then go to the right of this same side. I don't go over to the right 0. I stay over here. Just go to the right of where it crosses. Enter. Now it creates those 2 lines that are our boundaries and saying, guess. Do you want me to guess in between these 2 lines where that 0 is? Push enter again. -4.16. That's it. So now we go over to the other side. So let's do second trace again. Go to 0. Go over to the other 0. We want to be to the left of it. So whenever you're on this side, to the left of it is actually below it. Push enter. Then go to your right of it. Push enter, guess, enter. 2.16. So that's right. All right, let's do another one. (5x² minus 2 equals 4x). So you're going to move this 4x to the other side. We want to be in that format of ax² plus bx plus c equals 0. So this would be 5x² minus 4x minus 2 equals 0. So a is 5, b is -4, c is -2. So x equals negative b, so it's negative 4, plus or minus the square root of negative 4 squared. It's b squared minus 4 times a times c. So negative 4 squared minus 4 times 5 times a negative 2 all over 2a. So negative 4 is going to become positive 4 plus or minus the square root of. Go ahead and put this in your calculator. Make sure you put the negative 4 in parentheses. $56 over 2a, so over 10. Okay, what perfect square will evenly divide 56? 4 times what?
14.
Oh, hold on. 14 times 4?
Yes.
Okay. So we could write this as square root of 4 times square root of 14. Because the only thing that'll divide 14 evenly is 7 and 2. And neither one of those are perfect squares. So then we do the square root of 4, which is 2. So square root of 4 is 2, so it's 2 squared to 14. So this equals 4 plus or minus 2 square root of 14 over 10. So then we simplify the 4 and 10 and then the 2 over 10. The square root of 14 is going to stay square root of 14. We aren't going to simplify that because we've already simplified it as much as we can. So what will go into both 4, 2, and 10? 2. So we're going to evenly divide each one of these by 2. So 4 divided by 2 is 2 plus or minus 2 divided by 2, 1. And then square root of 14 stays. You don't do anything with it. And then we evenly divide the 10 also by the 2. So it'd be 5. So this could also be written as 2 plus or minus square root of 14 over 5. We don't necessarily need that. So this is our exact answer. So let's find our approximate. I'm going to abbreviate approximate. How do you find the approximate now? Don't do y equals just yet. We're going to need it to compare to something before we put it into y equals. So we need to put this into the calculator to find the approximate. So we'll do it with x plus square root of 14 over 5. And then we'll do x minus square root of 14 over 5 to get our 2 answers. Not x, did I say? Should be 2 plus square root of 14. And then divide by 5. Or I could have done it like this. 2 plus square root of 14 over 5. So 1.15. And then I'm just going to select that, bring it down, and then do minus 2 minus square root of 14 over 5. Negative 0.35. So now we'll put into y equals to check. So put it in where it says equals 0. So 5x squared minus 4x minus 2. Then do your zeros. Second trace 0 be to the left of the first 0, then to the right. Guess, enter. Negative 0.35. So that's it. And then do that again. Find the positive 0 that we have over here. So to the left would be below it. To the right would be above it. 1.148, which is close to 1.15. Okay, so now let's look at that maze that y'all have.
Can we do the work in our notebook?
Do it on a sheet of paper so you can turn it in. Okay, so get that out. We did the first one together. Make sure you have work shown. I don't think I did it on video though. Did I? Did y'all see it? Okay, so we'll do the first one.
Is this also do you have a notebook paper?
Yeah, I do. Back here and also in that red cabinet. Need another copy of it?
Yes, I do.
So A is 1, B is 8, C is 4. So if you've already done the first one, you can move on to the second one and go ahead and start working on that. And I'll help you with the second one too. So I'm going to go ahead and write my formula over here. X equals negative B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. So I don't have to keep on looking back at my notes. So X equals negative 8 plus or minus square root of 8 squared minus 4, 1C, which is at 4, over 2 times 1. Equals negative 8 plus or minus square root of, let's go ahead and put that in our calculator. 8 squared minus 4 times 1 times 4. So 48, and then over 2. Then we need to find out what the square root of 48 simplified is. We need to look for that perfect square that divides it evenly. So what might help you with simplifying these radicals is going down the list of perfect squares and seeing which one divides it evenly.
You can do 4 by 12.
4 by 12, but is there a bigger one? What about 16? 48 divided by 16. So what you could do is you could do 48 divided by 4. Okay, I know that works. 48 divided by 9. No, that doesn't work. 48 divided by 16. That works. And 3 is a prime number. So then you can see, okay, 16 and 3 will work because 3 is a prime number. 16 is a perfect square. You can keep on going until you can't divide it by any more of these numbers. And you want to find the largest perfect square. So this would be square root of 16 times square root of 3. And square root of 16 is 4, so it's 4 square roots of 3. So then we will write it. X equals negative 8 plus or minus 4 square roots of 3 over 2. So I replace the square root of 48 with 4 square roots of 3. Now I simplify. Negative 8 over 2 and 4 over 2. So what will go into all of these numbers? Negative 8, 4, and 2. 2. So I divide each one by 2. Divide by 2, it's negative 4. Divide this by 2, plus or minus 2 square roots of 3. And 2 divided by 2 is 1. So I don't even have to include that. So I'm going to write on here, this is number 1, so this is number 2. Go ahead and number the problems. Okay, let's go to number 2. 3x squared plus 7x minus 5 equals 0. A equals 3, B equals 7, C equals negative 5. So x equals negative 7, because it's negative b, plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c, all over 2a. So then we put this in there, so 7 squared minus 4 times 3 times a negative 5. And then you need to see if there's any perfect squares that evenly divide 109. Divided by 4, 109 divided by 9, 109 divided by 16, 109 divided by, well, 25, we know that's not true. 36 is the next one. 109 divided by 49, we know that's not going to be true either. There's nothing we can do. So this is as simplified as we can get. And so we look at our answer choices. And it's there. So now this would be number 3. Okay, so you are going to continue working on this. You'll end up doing 9 problems. So we've already done 2 together, so you just have 7 more to do.